Good evening, all of you. So, any query before we start? Today, we will be discussing this patent part, right? And out of patent, more important is that we'll be discussing the concept of compulsory licensing and evergreening concept, right? So, is it visible? Is the slides visible? Okay. So, this patent, basically, patent, this issue has erupted or have become very important from the UPSC point of view because of this corona, right? So we will be trying, we will try to understand that what governs patent. This we will discuss while we will discussing that international organization, that which organization regulates this patent, right? That it trips. And in this slides, in all these slides, we'll be trying to understand what is patent and what is the present type of patent which we are using across the world, right? And we'll discuss one or two important issues related to the patents which have become very prominent in the purview of corona. So if we talk about patent, right, patent is basically it's a right that provides protection over any novel invention, right? So this difference between invention and discovery, anybody? What is the difference between invention and discovery? So invention means you are coming up with any new thing which was not in existence, while discovery is just you are the thing was existing and you are just bringing it to the already there and discovered now, right? Yes, right. So invention is, that means if you talk about patent, that means it was not in existence and you have come up with that new thing, right? You have created it, and because you have created it, that's why you are having exclusive rights to sell, to use, to create, and to manufacture. And secondly, this right for exclusive right is being given for a particular period of time. That means, see what is the time period in the later on slides, right? And exclusive rights implies that no one else can make, use, manufacture, or market the invention without the consent of the patent holder. For example, if you have patented certain medicine A, then that you are the exclusive owner, right? And without your permission, nobody can use it, make it, manufacture it without your consent. Right? And if we talk about Indian patent regime, then it is governed by Patent Act 1970, then Amendment Act 1999 and 2002. And finally, the most important out of all these is Patents Amendment Act 2005. We'll be discussing why it is important. So you have to remember it, this Patents Amendment Act 2005. This is very crucial. So what are the conditions for patenting? Novelty, inventiveness, and usefulness. So novelty means it's an invention in which has not been disclosed in global state before filing of patent. That means you are only knowing about it. Nobody knows about it, right? That is sort of sui generis, right? Inventiveness means that it is having certain technical advance as compared to the existing knowledge or having economic significance or both, and that makes the invention not obvious to a person skilled in the art. That means it has certain advancement in comparison to the existing thing. And third is that it is having certain uses for the people, right? Types of patent. So what was happening, that there are two types of patents, process and product. Now we will try to understand the difference. For example, there is a medicine X, and this medicine has been formulated or manufactured using a process, and the sub process includes these this is a process. This is process number one, and this process includes all these sub process A, B, C, D, X. These are subsequent process, and in this process medicine X is manufactured, right? In the process patent regime, what was happening, that the person, for example, there is a person Y, and this person has patented this process A, B, C, D, X, right? That means there is a person Z. What he did, he tinkered with this process. He tinkered with this process like A dash, B dash, C dash, and D dash. Finally, he came up with the product X. And this product X was also the outcome of this process, right? So in this case, this person Z was allowed to use this process and manufacture medicine X. This was process patent. That means you have patented only this process A, B, C, D. So you have patented only this process, and you have not patented this product. You have not patented this product X. That's why anybody in the process patent regime can manufacture this medicine X. But he cannot use this process A, B, C, D. He can use another process A dash, B dash, C dash, D dash. A little bit tinkering of this product, of this process, can again be patented under the name of Z. That means it was allowed. Now, what was happening in the past, that this person who has put a lot of money while coming up with this process was losing a lot of money, because this medicine was again patented by Mr. Z, right? So this process was not allowed at the international level, and at the international level it was decided that product patent should be adopted, right? So what happens in the product patent, that here we were seeing the A, B, C, D. This was Mr. X, and Mr. Z was A dash, B dash, C dash, and D dash. Product patent says that this X has patented this product X. That means if anybody is coming up with this product X, then he cannot get the patent against X, because this patent is given for this product, not for the process. Right? So tell me one thing, which patent is better and why? Which patent is better and why? Anyone? Which patent regime is better and why? Process patent is better. Okay. Why, Srikanth?
It is not only granted for product, but also the manufacturing process.
Okay. But in the process patent, anybody can tinker with your process and patent the product. What about that? Do you know the logic why, for example, first we have to understand that what is the idea behind the patenting? What is the idea? Why there is a concept of patent?
So that no one misappropriate the particular product.
Then what is the benefit of patenting? Okay, I got your point that you are saying that nobody can manufacture, but what is it all about to monetize their idea? Okay, what is it all about? For example, the best example to understand is, don't you think that right now there are no vaccines, the number of vaccines available to the people is comparatively less? And don't you think that every manufacturer should be allowed to produce or manufacture these vaccines? Don't you think that the company should be allowed? Okay. So that means you are saying that it should be allowed. Then why the companies are not allowed? Why other companies are not allowed? Any idea? The formula will be shared. The companies can only manufacture the vaccine if any company is manufacturing Covaxin or Covishield. Then the original company, for example, if this Oxford AstraZeneca is the sole proprietor of this Covishield, then if any company, via, for example, if Ranbaxy is manufacturing Covishield, then this AstraZeneca will share the formula or the manufacturing process to Ranbaxy, then only Ranbaxy can manufacture. It's not like that Ranbaxy is coming up with a vaccine, that Covishield, and that does not have any linkage with the Covishield vaccine. The formula will be the same, irrespective of the manufacturer. If Covishield is being brought into the market under the name of this Covishield, then every Covishield will be having the same formula, same manufacturing process. But my question is why this Ranbaxy is not allowed, despite the fact that there are less number of vaccines in the market. What is the reason why this? Which company will not have more money if everybody have it? Okay, you are reaching to that point. Basically, see what happens. But the reason is, if you try to understand this example, the recent example of Corona, the best example, to understand the concept of the patent, the importance of the patent, right? First and foremost, you should understand that this is the very first time in the world history, in the mankind history, that the vaccine has been come into the market within a span of 1 year and 1.5 years. Otherwise, it takes at least 10 years. Those who are in pharmacy or those who are in research might be knowing it better, or in medical fields, that it takes at least 10 years to when a vaccine is conceptualized and it is coming into the market, right? Because there are at least 2 to 3 years are required for clinical trials on the human, right? So it's a very long process. It's a very complicated process. First thing. Now coming to the rationale of this patenting process, right? I'm not talking about process patent. I'm talking about patenting process. Patent as a process. What happens that For example, this time Corona, so you will realize that a number of companies were engaged in research, right? And that research was all about expenditure, and such researches which are carried out for these vaccines are very costly. And secondly, there is no sure shot that the vaccine on which a particular company is working is coming up with a particular result. For example, hundreds of companies were working on this vaccine, right? And only two across the world, if you talk about 5 or 10 companies were only successful. That means other 90 companies who worked on it, all their efforts in the monetary terms are wasted, right? So it can happen to anyone because nobody knows the results or the outcome of the research. So if you are not allowing them to have the patent, that means if you do the research, for example, in this case, if X spent crores of rupees on developing a vaccine X or medicine X, now this Z person came, right? Sorry, he's Y, he's Z. This Z came and he tinkered with the process because, for example, imagine a situation where there is no patent regime. There is no patent regime. That means Mr. Z came and he has not spent a single rupee on the research. What he did, he only steal the formula of Mr. Y, right? That means for the next time, why this Y will invest in research and development. That means the patent regime motivates researchers to invest in the research and development. If there is no concept of patent, if anybody can manufacture everything, right? So in this case, if Z is legally allowed to let's produce or manufacture medicine X, when the Y has produced this X after a lot of research, then what will be the motivation factor for this Y? So there's a provision of patent here. So what was happening? What was happening in the past in the process patent, that this process ABCD was patented only. That means final product was not patented. And to tinker with this particular process is very easy, right? Because you know the formula, you know that this is the medicine, and you have to manufacture this medicine. So it is very easy to know the process, right? So what people were doing, they were tinkering with the process and coming up with the same formula. That means in the process patent regime, it was very easier to manufacture the medicines. Right? So there was no motivation factor for the people like Y to do research, and that's why this process patent was discarded. Right? In case of product patent, you are aware that this X product is patented, because if you are going to the medicine, for example, you are going to the medicine and you know that Covishield is patented, right? So no company can produce this Covishield, right? So if it was a process patent regime, so what can happen? Everybody can produce, every company can produce Covishield product, right? So you can go to the market and purchase Covishield because you were not knowing that Covishield means Covishield. So every manufacturer can produce Covishield in the past, in the process patent regime, but in the product patent regime, nobody can produce the Covishield in the market, right? So that means in the product patent, there is more protection for the people who are in research rather than in the process patent regime. So is it clear or not that which patent regime is better for the research and development person? Is it clear? Or any query in this? to promote technological. See, actually, if you see the concept of the patent, the core motivation of the patent is to promote the technological innovations. If you are not having the concept of the patent, then why people will be interested in investing in the research? Tell me. If this AstraZeneca in the starting, if the Oxford was might be pessimistic in the sense that if I come up with the Covishield, then other manufacturers can also produce the product. So what will be the motivation factor for AstraZeneca to work? The only motivation factor for the investment in research and development is this, that companies are sure that if we are coming up with any new product, then we will be in a position to earn money out of the product, and that earned money will be against our investment in the research. This is the idea. Is it clear? Right. So if you talk about process patent regime, in the process patent regime, what was happening, that you were only patenting the process, right? So in this case, ABCD was patented, and under a process patent, the patent is granted for a particular manufacturing process and not for the product itself. Any other person can produce the same product, that is X, through some other process modifying the various parameters. So in the product patent regime, it is an exclusive right to the original inventor of a product. That means Mr. Y, who has produced X medicine, he is the sole proprietor of this medicine. Nobody can produce this medicine X. This means that no other manufacturer can provide the same product to the same or any other process. India's 1970 Patent Act allowed only process patent. Before it was amended in 2005 to comply with WTO's TRIPS provisions, under which there is only product patent. TRIPS follow the product patent regime. We'll discuss these TRIPS and this WTO in the later on classes. Now, you might have, are you aware of the Jan Aushadhi Kendra? Any idea? Jan Aushadhi Kendra? Which belongs to the government of India. Yes, generic medicine centers. So you have any idea that what is the difference between the cost of medicine which are available at Jan Aushadhi Kendra? For example, if you are having any medicine for sugar or heart at the normal medical store, if it is, for example, if it costs 30 rupees or 40 rupees a single medicine, then have you any idea that what will be the cost of that medicine at the this Jan Aushadhi Kendra? Okay, see, at Jan Aushadhi Kendra, you will have that medicine which in the market you are getting the medicine at, for example, 30 rupees per medicine, per tablet, right? For example, a diabetic people is going to the common market and the cost of medicine is 30 rupees, right? Now, the same medicine under the same name, under the same salt, might be available at 2 or 3 rupees at the Jan Aushadhi Kendra. This is the difference, at least 1/10. Any idea why there is so difference? Right. See what happens, that we discussed that the person Y, who has invented medicine X, right? He was given patent. Patent means if any medicine, for example, this medicine, if this medicine is being sold into the market, then this medicine will, for example, is costing rupees 30. But there should be a limit in the sense that this 30 rupee appears to be costly for the common man, right? That means what should be the time limit for which this medicine can only be manufactured by Mr. Y? This time limit is 20 years. So it is assumed that in 20 years, Mr. Y, who is having the patent of medicine X, he can realize all its expenditure which has been done on the R&D of product X. Right? So this time period is basically 20 years. After 20 years, the formula of X, right? This medicine X can be produced by any of the company. That means now Z can produce after 20 years. That means this 20 years, after this 20 years, this Mr. Z can produce this medicine X without any legal issue. Now, after 20 years, this medicine X, which was patented under the name of Y, has become generic. Is it clear or not? That how a patent drug becomes generic drug? Anybody who is not clear? Right. So that means after 20 years, this medicine X, which was patented by Y, for example, this medicine was patented, X was patented in 1920, sorry, 1990. X was patented by Mr. Y. After 2010, this medicine X can be produced by anybody, right? Z can produce this medicine X without any issue of patent. This is the idea of, and after 2010, this medicine X has become generic, while until 2010, it was a patented drug. Right. So if you go to this Jan Aushadhi Kendra, which I discussed with you, all the medicines at the Jan Aushadhi Kendra are basically generic medicines. This is the idea, right? So this is all about patent and generic. Next idea is that, for example, prior to this, I would like to discuss evergreening. Now, what happened that have you any idea of evergreening in banks or in pharma? Any idea in banks? Evergreening in banks. Have you heard the term evergreening of the loans? Anyone? Have you heard the term evergreening of the loans? No. Okay. So right now we will only discuss this in this case. I'll give a bit hint of evergreening of the loans. Evergreening means, if you go by the literal term, evergreening means you are continuous, right? It is always green, right? So what happens that in this case, Mr. Y has patented X in 1990, right? Now, after 20 years, that is in 2010, right? This medicine became generic. Now, what happened? This Mr. Y, this person is very smart. What he did after 2010, in 2010, he filed patent for a medicine X-Des. Right? This X-Des was basically nothing but a little bit modification for X. That means this X-Des was almost similar to X. Right? It was having a bit improvement. For example, this Mr. Y, what he did, He think that means there was this process was A, B, C, and D. What he did, and then X. What he did a little bit tinkering with the process and come up with the product X dash. This X dash is almost similar to X, right? For example, if this X was given 3 doses a day, now what X dash was doing, it was given only 2 doses a day, right? So this X dash was almost similar to X. There was no therapeutic, this term is therapeutic efficacy. We'll this term. The term is therapeutic efficacy. A therapeutic efficacy means that X and X should be difference. In the terms of therapeutic efficacy means that X dash should be very, very, very different from X in terms of its efficiency on the patient, right? So evergreening means if you are coming up with this drug X dash, which is almost similar to X, but little bit changes, then this process is said to be evergreening. Because why you are patenting this process? Because you want to earn more and more money even after 20 years, despite the fact that you have already earned a lot of money in these 20 years, which was the stipulated time, but you want to earn more and more money even after this 2010. So because you cannot register, you cannot pay, you cannot continue with this patent X. So what you did a little bit tinkering rather than proper research and development, right? So because you did a lot of you didn't did research and development, and you filed for a new drug, and that new drug X dash is a little bit improvement upon X, and this process is called evergreening. In many literature, you can this is also set to the second patent in US. So any idea, what do you think about this process of evergreening? What's your opinion? What's your opinion of evergreening? What do you think? Is it okay? Is it not required, or it should be allowed? What's your opinion? Establishing monopoly is not good. Okay. See, second aspect of this, you're right, but more than them, there is another aspect to understand this concept of mankind, right? This concept of human welfare, mankind, masses. That means when you are selling that medicine at rupees 30, that medicine, everybody cannot access that medicine. Can you imagine that everybody in India can have a medicine which is costing 30 rupees a tablet, and in a day he has to take 2 or 3 medicine? So can you think that a person can spend 3,000, minimum 3,000 rupees a month on a medicine? No, not at all. So this medicine, the benefit of this medicine is available to the masses if and only if it is available to the people as generic medicine. And it's a debate. It's also a debate at the world level. Same person can benefit multiple times, demand will increase in the product. Why demand will increase of the product? Soumya, one thing is clear, that same person can benefit multiple times. That's okay. But I didn't get your point that demand will increase of the product. Why demand will increase? You can speak. If you want to speak, you people can speak. Why demand will increase? Only they can produce. Only they can produce redundant value. See, there is another aspect of this whole debate, because what we are seeing, what we have discussed this whole debate from the perspective of the researcher, from the perspective of the pharmaceutical companies. Now, there is another side of this whole story, and that is the most important aspect of this whole story. That is the human, that is the mankind, that is the patient, right? Now, I told you that nobody, I don't find that in India, more than 65% of the people cannot afford 3,000 rupees and more than 3,000 rupees per month only for a single medicine, right? That means for that mankind, for those masses, there should be certain balance. That means we have to also to take care of those people who are living under poverty, right? First thing. And we have also to take care of the people who are in research, the companies who are in research. That means we have to maintain a balance between R&D people and masses. So this gap of 20 years is basically an attempt to have a balance between research and development and masses. Because if you are allowing patent for 20 years, that means you are promoting, you are motivating for this person who is in R&D, that please invest in research and development, because you will earn money for 20 years, next 20 years. And you are promoting the welfare of the masses, in the sense that you are allowing that this medicine X will be available, or you can take, or this masses can take the benefit of this medicine X after 20 years of the patents, right? So this concept of patent, right, and the generic drug is basically an attempt to have a balance between research and development and masses. Is it clear or not? Balance between research and development and the masses, welfare of the masses. Is it clear or not? Right. Now coming to evergreening. Evergreening is basically, it is not required, because it is not required in the sense that because the company, Mr. Y, did no research, right, in with rather it tinkered with the X and come up with the product X this, right, which was not having a therapeutic efficacy. This is a very specific term. Whenever anything is coming about evergreening, you should know this term. So evergreening refers to the practice whereby pharmaceutical firms extend the patent life of a drug only by minor reformulations. That means you are just changing certain ingredients, certain processes, right? And you are doing nothing except a little bit change in the therapeutic efficacy. Evergreening allows a prolonged monopoly that unfairly denies the public access to medicine at equitable prices, that is, generic drugs. In India, Supreme Court refused to grant a new patent to Swiss company Novartis on its leukemia drug Glivec, as the drug was not substantially different from original one. It was case of evergreening, right? So basically, this drug was available, I think it was something 1.6 lakh rupees per month, and its generic drug was, I think, available at something 10,000 and 11,000 rupees. See the difference. The cost of this drug was 1.6 lakhs per month, and it was available as after this when it was turned into generic drug, then its cost becomes 10,000. See the difference. And the best example to understand is one more example about patent, that if you talk about this Apple phone, right? So what do you think? What will be, for example, if you are purchasing, if any phone is costing rupees 1 lakh. So what do you think? What will be the cost of this that metal or any or all the things which are used for that manufacturing that iPhone? What might be the cost of that raw material in that iPhone, which is costing you 1 lakh rupees? Any idea? If a phone is costing, iPhone is costing 1 lakh rupee, then what is the cost of the raw material used for using that iPhone? 30%, I think 30% is also on the very higher side. I think 10 or 15%, right? It's very less than the manufacturer. It's around 10 to 15%. That means even if you take it on the higher side, 25%, that means what about the 75%? That is 75% of the cost, for example, 25% is going on advertisement and all those things, right? That means 50% of the cost is basically going to Apple because it is being patented. Same goes with if you are having a new PC and you are that having Windows in PC, original Windows. That means the moment you purchase a new PC and install new Windows in the PC, the money is going to Microsoft because they have patented that, right? Now, so this is all about a bit idea of the patenting. India Patent Act. So Indian Patent Act, Section 2(1)(g) of the Patent Act, the product in the question must feature a technical advance over what came before. Section 3(d) talks about improvement in therapeutic efficacy. And 3(e) ensures that patents for combination of known substances are allowed only if there is synergistic effect. So these are three provisions. Many times, because in UPSC, I think in 2013 or 14, a question was asked on compulsory licensing in mains, because Supreme Court came up with a judgment on this issue. That's why the question was asked, right? So you should be aware of, at least you should remember these three sections. You are not supposed to give the detail of these, or you should know only that it should have technical advance and improvement in therapeutic efficacy. These two are very important, therapeutic efficacy and technical advance. You can leave this, right? So after 2005, I was saying that this Amendment Act 2005 was very important in the sense that it basically came up with these provisions, and these provisions are nothing but they are prohibiting the evergreening. That means if you are not having therapeutic efficacy, if you are not having technical advance, if you are not having synergistic effect, that means if you are just tinkering with the process and coming up with a new product, then you are not allowed. That means evergreening is not allowed, right? So this is Indian Patent Act and evergreening. Coming to this thing, compulsory licensing. Compulsory licensing means if you are going through the newspapers nowadays, you might have heard that many people, especially the CPI people, were requesting the government that the government should allow manufacturing of Covaxin by other manufacturers first. And at international level, you might have seen that developing countries are requesting the developed countries to share or to allow the developing countries to manufacture Covishield and other vaccines, right? How is it possible? Whether it is possible or not, if it is possible, then how it is possible? So there is a possibility of manufacturing of Covishield by other manufacturers, right? Besides the idea of the generic drug. That means after 20 years, it will be open to all. But what is the status as of now? Is it possible right now? Yes, it is possible right now. So it is possible if and only if it is given the compulsory license. The term is compulsory licensing. Compulsory licensing basically means, for example, in this example, in our example, Y was manufacturing X, right? This was a medicine. Now, if Z is allowed to produce X before 20 years, that means this was in 1990, and this we say it is 1995. So is it possible? Yes, it is possible. It is possible if and only if it is proved that this medicine X, right, is very important for the people. That means it is about the masses. It is about the welfare of the masses. First thing. Secondly, if it is proved that it is not available to people at the affordable prices, at the cheaper prices, right? And third, if it is proved that it is not available in India, if it is not used in India, that means it is not available in India. That means if it is being proved that the welfare of the people or the life of the people is at stake, right? And if it is proved that it is not available to the people at affordable prices, right? And third, if it is proved that this medicine X is not patented in any country in which the person is applying for compulsory licensing, then the government can issue the compulsory licensing. What happens in compulsory licensing? This Z will approach Mr. Y, company Y, and will ask him for issuing a license to Z, which allows Z to produce medicine X, right? And this Z now onwards will produce medicine X, and this Z will give certain fees, nominal fees. This fees will be nominal. Z will give certain fees to Mr. Y as a fees for compulsory licensing. So compulsory licensing is a license issued by the government to an applicant for making, using and selling a patented product or employing a patented process. In the Indian Patent Act, section 84 and 92 provides for compulsory licenses, right? And when can you grant compulsory licensing? Reasonable requirements. That means people require it at the most. Situation right now, people are in need of this. Patented invention is unavailable to public at affordable prices. It is unavailable. Prices is immaterial at this point of time because governments are providing it free also, but it is unavailable. And in many of the developing countries, might be a possibility that it is not available, and it is also not available at affordable prices. And might be a possibility that in many countries it might not be available. So compulsory licensing can be invoked, right? If it is being proved that the life of the masses is at stake and the medicine is not available for the people. So in this scenario, if you see the present scenario, the corona medicine, the life of the masses is at stake. Secondly, it is not available to the public. So if countries agree or the companies agrees with the countries or the governments, then compulsory licensing can be issued in case of corona vaccine. And for example, in Africa, for example, in South Africa, compulsory licensing is issued for a company, any company A. Then this A company will be having a tie-up with AstraZeneca, and after paying certain fees to AstraZeneca, this A can produce Covishield, right? So this is unique case. This is not normal. So if you talk about this case, first case of compulsory licensing being obtained in India, it was in 2012. Bayer was basically producing a medicine, and NATCO applied for that for compulsory licensing, and the drug was Nexavar. It was very costly, right? And Indian government allowed NATCO to produce Nexavar under the compulsory licensing, right? So this is all about your patent regime and the issues related to it, evergreening and compulsory licensing. Any issue? Any query? So if licenses are granted, will prices come down for the patented products, but parallelly demand rise? See, costing is, yes, prices will definitely come down, because what we are seeing that in case of the government will issue the compulsory licensing, because it has to think about the people, because what we have discussed, that there are three issues which are to be proved for compulsory licensing, because the government issues that compulsory licensing, that you can produce that Covishield. For example, we are taking the example of the Covishield. The government is saying that yes, you can produce Covishield if and only if it is not available to the people at the affordable prices, right? Because if you are you have taken the compulsory licensing, and again you are not providing the vaccine at affordable prices, then what is the use of that compulsory licensing? Because the cost of vaccine is including the R&D cost right now, patent cost. So in case of compulsory licensing, you are not paying any cost in the form of patent cost. So definitely the price will come down. Definitely it will come down. Demand increasing, see, it is basically about the masses. So definitely there is demand. That's why the government is issuing that compulsory licensing. There's demand because people are looking for it. It is a precondition to issue compulsory licensing. I think it is clear, right? So I'll end up this discussion now. Tomorrow, work on that. What is evergreening of loans? Right, work on it. We'll be discussing that. Evergreening of loans. Right. So thank you very much.